Hi there, it's Riikka Kovasin here with a video for A.B.Studio. This time I'm doing a layout using a piece of cake collection. First I'm showing the supplies I'm going to use for this page. Although I'm using the collection kit, I'm not using every sheet from it, but got elements from a couple of ones and then used this stripy version as my background. As the first layer, I'm adding some gesso to the paper using a brayer. After drying that, I then add a dimensional layer using modeling paste and one of the A.B.Studio stencils. This one is ID-476. After applying the paste throughout the gessoed area, I then dry the sheet. Although I'm using a lot of cut out elements from the collection, I also wanted to make some embellishments of my own. For that I'm using an A.B.Studio stamp, which is ID-214, and I'm stamping with watermark ink on top of vellum. I then emboss the pattern using black embossing ink and thus have this kind of drawn effect to the embellishments. They kind of echo the drawn embellishments that are in the collection. I melt the powder and then cut the little jars loose. Next, the background is in need of some color, although the white kind of reflects flowers in a way, but still I want some color on top. For that I'm using two distressed ink colors. First I'm inking through a stencil, creating another pattern to the background. This one is ID-476. Then I use the same ink colors like watercolors. I first press the ink pad on top of a piece of plastic and then use a wet brush to pick the color up and apply it to the layout. The two colors I'm using are called Festive berries and Seedless preserves. After painting the middle part like watercolors, I then add some splashes and deliberately also splash on top of the stenciled pattern so that it will bleed a little, kind of blending it with the watercolor effect look that's in the middle of the page. Next it's time to start the actual composition. I've sped this part more than the other parts of the video, but first I'm adding a piece of baker's twine to the layout and then I cluster some of the doilies I cut out from one of the sheets to make kind of a background for the photo and clusters coming on top. To back the photo, I'm using tags cut out one of the pattern paper sheets and I'm repeating that drawn look to them as well. Instead of inking the edges, I'm kind of drawing the edges, kind of making them more part of the drawn embellishments that are going to be on top. I use a stapler to adhere the tags together and then use foam tape to mount my photo on top of the cluster and then the same foam tape to mount the cluster to the layout. As the last kind of composition part, I'm then adding the embellishments in place, kind of either side of the photo. I'm also using foam tape and just glue to adhere them to make them a little bit more dimensional. After I have those in place, I then cut one of the names of the pattern papers and I'm using that as my title and I adhered that to my page to the right hand side. I also wrote the date on top of the little label that's cut out on one of the pattern papers. As a finishing touch, I'm then adding some half pearls here and there, kind of mimicking the color scheme I already have going. And that's the finishing touch. After that, the layout is done. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this short video and I'll be seeing you with another A.B.Studio project next month. Thank you. Bye.